They are ballless, right?
Wow.
That's just horrible. Let's go call this guy who punched another guy after a race one time, right? No, if you got a problem with Carson, you approach him like a man. Tell him you got a problem. Settle it. Like, don't call another guy to go handle your problem.
So I went wide open, hoping for a little taste of that unknown, living in a fast car.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. My name is Chad Bearden. I am a country music artist, content creator, and NASCAR superfan, joined always by the man, the myth, the legend, the at-track VIP coordinator for Haas Factory Team, and the best hair on the great blue earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Kojan. Make some noise. How you doing, Rick?
I'm really good, buddy. Thank you for that loving and over the top intros you always give me. Good to go on my side and ready to roll on Michigan. And thank you, Mother Nature, for not raining on Michigan. Go ahead.
I like it. And the man making us look better, sound better, and just go much faster. The fastest man in North Carolina, representing the team with all the speed, all the money, at track VIP coordinator, the other legend in the house. Why are you shaking your head?
Because he's not a VIP coordinator.
No, I meant IT coordinator. See, you started shaking your head. The IT.
You told me not to talk during the intros. I'm just trying to help.
All right, let me back up. The best looking man of the crew from the fastest team in motorsports. Make some noise for the fastest man in North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the Demon Deacon, Mr. Chris Justice. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Good to see everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know, we got a chance to see Rick's hair at its fullest tonight. No hat tonight.
No.
Giving him all the glory right there. Look at that. Yes.
The Uber driver wouldn't recognize him with a hat on. He had to take the hat off to get in the Uber.
That's it. That's it. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. Michigan was action-packed, baby.
Yeah, it was. Let's do some talking about it. But first, let's do some three wide. All right, one little housekeeping note that I need to clean up from last week. I told you guys that Colleague Grayson was building a car for the France family. That was incorrect. I spoke wrong. It was Spire Motorsports, not Colleague. So I wanted to clear that up. That's bad. My bad. That's on me. We covered that. I just want to clear that up. So
Chris and I had nothing to add because it was breaking news by you, super fans. So
yeah, I jacked it up. So, all right. So news coming out this week, the U.S. Court of Appeals overturned the lower court's injunction that gave 2311 and Front Row Motorsports their charters while the lawsuit was ongoing. They now, unless another appeal grants them another ruling, must run as open cars starting June 26. So they can appeal this again, but unless that appeal gets overturned once again, they will have to run as open cars for the remainder of the season until the lawsuit goes to court in November. So what's going to happen? They have appealed it. The next court up will have to say whether or not they're going to hear it, and if they hear it, if they take that case, essentially it'll be 21 days. They have this will be on pause for 21 days total, and then they will have to start running as open cars on June 26th unless that is changed by the next court up. thoughts on that, Mr. Chris
And man,
Justice?
that's what good lawyers do. You know, that's why they pay big bucks for those big attorneys to make moves and have things happen like that to kind of push the needle in one direction or the other. So, I mean, somebody's about to get muscled here eventually, and it's going to be interesting to watch at the end.
Rick?
Yeah, my takeaway is that ultimately, whether they race under charter or not, and we'll see what happens, they're going to make the races. Okay. The main thing is there's a lot of debate over how much less money you make as a non-chartered team, right? I don't think there's suddenly a threat that any of those 6 cars, right? And we're talking about 6, 3 for front row and 3 for 2311. I think a lot of people forget about front row because it always seems like Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin and 2311 are tip of the spear of this lawsuit, but it includes front row. Yeah, I mean, how long can they withstand? There's a 21-day pause, so we're almost halfway through we're more than halfway through the regular season. We're at 15, right? I don't know per se what the penalty is to race non-chartered, meaning like how much of a reduction is there in your earnings. So that to me tells me what the pain point is. But the overall outcome, like Chris said, that's going to be a big one.
Yeah. I mean, so you don't think there's a chance that any of these cars show up to a race and don't make it in on speed? And then championships are shot because that one race they don't make it in.
I do not, for 2 reasons. Reason number one, look, just because you flip the switch on them, they're not a charter team. They're still front row and they're still 2311. And to have happen what you're talking about, we'd need a 40-car field.
Okay. Any rebuttal, Chris?
Am I wrong? Or,
no,
what do you think, Superfan? Right?
No, I'm just asking. I'm playing devil's advocate.
So no, he hit on the head. Like, you're gonna have the 40-car field, right? So, you know, so you're gonna make sure those cars make the race, and they're dominating now. So just because they're not chartered doesn't change how they prepare cars every week.
Well,
like Rick said, it comes back on the back end in the office space of when that check clears on Tuesday. What's the difference going to be?
And none of us know that.
Yeah, none of us know that.
Right. All right. Let's move to the next thing. So it was announced this weekend in Michigan and started this weekend in Michigan that Corey LaJoie rejoined Spire on their truck team to run the '07 truck for 9 races. And whenever he was asked about it, this was his quote, or one of his quotes. He said, quote, "It's like you've worked building a house for 5 years, and then your wife becomes a TikTok star, and she says she's not happy anymore, and she kicks you out. And then she calls you back a year later, and you have to go live in the guest room, and she's there with her new boyfriend. And that's how this thing goes." End quote. Rick Kojen.
Wow.
Tell me about it, Rick.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. I didn't know he said that. What I heard was the comments from Jeff Dickerson, who I believe is the president of Spire. I want to make sure I get that right. And that the way the deal came together was literally they were talking and bullshitting just like the 3 of us are. And I'm like, hey, you know what, Chris? God, we need someone to drive that '07 truck. You want to drive that thing for 9 races? I literally heard it was that thrown together, such as that. So you reading those comments makes me feel like he was bummed out, belittled by the offer. Is that what I'm reading? But he was in the truck in Michigan.
Well, I think that he was, I mean, I watched a lot of the videos, and I mean, he was very honest about all of it, because he also addressed the fact that whenever they asked him last season about going down to the truck season or going down to the truck
Oh,
series and
that's right.
driving.
That's right.
And
He
he
said he
said,
would never do that, right?
I don't want to drive for 12 fans. And he told Bob Pockrass that. And he said, Bob, when I told you that, I was in the middle of I was on like 5 days of a
5 day
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
I do a
Yeah.
24-hour fast. He was doing a 5 day fast.
Yeah. And he said I was
messed
hangry.
your body up.
But so I don't know. That just I thought it was kind of funny. Chris, give me your thoughts on this.
Man, it sounds like a nasty divorce. You know what I mean? Like he sounds still bitter from this first tour at Spire. That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like he still has some open wounds.
But now he's back with them.
Yeah, but those wounds still hurt, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about in our little 3 wide section here, Rick, you kind of talked about this last week, and we won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but the media just continued to lay into it this week as they always do. But the Carson Hocevar, Ricky Stenhouse deal, and the part I want to talk about is Carson Hocevar said that he had a whole bunch of drivers text him this week and tell him that they really wish that he would have waited for Carson Hocevar in the garage and whipped his tail after the race.
Well, back that up. I think you used Carson Hocevar's name twice.
I'm sorry that Stenhouse said he had a whole bunch of drivers text him and say that they wish that he had waited for Hocevar in the garage after the race and whipped his tail. And here's my thoughts on that. And then I'll let you go. If that's the case, first of all, those drivers don't have a set of balls on them because every one of them have their own platform and their own time. If you've got a problem with Hocevar, you go do something about it. If you've got a problem, why are you texting Ricky, getting Ricky to go fight your fight? Not one of you have a set of balls. Tell me, Chris Justice.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. They are ball-less, right? Wow. That's just horrible. Let's go call this guy who punched another guy after a race one time, right? No, if you got a problem with Carson, you approach him like a man. Tell him you got a problem. Settle it. Like, don't call another guy to go handle your problem with another guy. That's lame. That's lame. That's horrible. It's embarrassing for somebody to say that. My opinion.
Rick?
Yeah, I'm a little softer on this one than you guys. I think the context of the texts, and I know that's hard to say. Hopefully I'm pronouncing well. The context of the text was kind of putting an arm around Ricky Stenhouse, feeling bad for him, and saying, yo, bro, it's happened to us too. Kind of wish you'd have waited around and took a swing at this guy too. Not saying go do it, but saying more, the bigger thing is I think they're saying is we agree that he made the move too early in the race and could have cut you some slack and we're on your side. That's my takeaway.
How many of those same drivers go, we don't like we're getting outrun by this kid who's driving for Spire in his second year in Cup too?
Yeah, could be.
That's a lot of it, in my opinion. But those same drivers who sent that text, and if they have been crashed or run hard or run dirty by Carson, they had the same opportunity to approach him after the race, and they didn't. So don't cry now.
And Chris, let me just add, Chad, both of you guys, I want to add this. I heard something that someone said something, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, and Christopher Bell were boring. Okay. And when I say that, it's some swell up from the fans, but it's some commentary that was made that these guys were boring. Right. So I think the reason this Hocevar thing with Ricky perpetuates itself.
Who said Blaney was boring?
Yeah, I think that I might have had that name wrong. There were 3 names in there that run up top. Maybe it was Elliott.
Elliott,
Said
yeah. I'll
yeah,
give you
they're just
that.
generally overall boring. In other words, the stars of our sport are boring, and that the infusion of Carson Hocevar and what's going on and all the chatter about it, and we'll get to it in today's checkers, records, and what the heckers on Denny Hamlin, and the fact that becoming a lightning rod is just like it's positive to the sport. It really is.
I like it.
Oh, that's true.
People are
We
talking
like, we
about
like
it.
excitement.
According to you, Chad, they're talking about it for another week after it already happened back at Nashville. So go ahead.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's get into checkers, wreckers, and what the heckers for Michigan International Speedway. Ricky, I know you watched trucks this week. You sent a text to me and Chris that you were watching it with your boys. So you tell me, what was your checkers for the truck race at Michigan?
I absolutely knew that I was going to get called out on this. And I got to be honest with you, called out for good reason because I'm a slacker on trucks, and I'm sorry. But I did. I watched the race. I had all my buddies with me. We really enjoyed the race. I think stages 1 and 2 were kind of, whatever. It was the Corey Haim show with hosts of our back and forth. But my checkers undoubtedly goes to 2 things. Number 1, the overall racing in stage 3 of that truck race was unbelievable. It was so much so that we're in an area we were watching with some other fans. Like people are up there watching them go by, then they're looking at the TV. I mean, fantastic racing. It was the level of competition and passing and dicing and 3, sometimes 4 lanes wide that is cup level worthy. And these are our usually Friday night truckers. Okay. That's my checkers. And I'm going to give one more. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a homer. I'm giving a checkers to Ross Chastain because if you saw his save off of turn 2, and I have a little commentary to add to it, right? Dude was straight up, almost beyond 45 degrees sideways off of turn 2, brought that truck back and saved it. I happened to run into him after an appearance that we had with Cole Custer the next day at the NASCAR experience stage. And I heard him, he wasn't talking to me about it, but I heard him talking to Cole, and Cole brought that up. He said he was full deadlock on the steering wheel and wished it had even more and said, oh my God, I don't think it's going to come back. And then it snapped back on him and went straight. That was a hell of a save and deserves my checkers. Thank you.
I like your homer. And I appreciate you watching the truck race.
He's a good dude. Go ahead.
All right, Chris, I'm going to give you mine because I want you to react. That guy again. How about Frankie Muniz finishing top 14? He got a 14th place finish, coming home top 15. And the ad campaign he's got going too with the Morgan and Muniz. Thought he killed it, played right into that. He had a little bit of luck go his way, but he brought home his truck clean. It's got to be a huge boost of confidence after all the wreckers and the what the heckers he's gotten from us. A huge checkered flag to Frankie Muniz.
I have to co-sign with you on that one because that was my checker. I got it in gold in my notes. Muniz with the top 20 finish.
Oh, I'm sorry that I went before you then.
Yeah, no, we're on the same page tonight. I like it.
Hands under the table? What's up?
Oh, stop.
All right, give me your records, Chris.
My records is going to be Nashville's winner, Raja Karuf, going 3 wide in the back of the pack and destroying himself and ruining his night. Yeah. You can't do that as a winner. You should know better. Bad decisions.
Rick?
Yeah, he's not wrong. I'm going to lob my wreckers flag to the restart at the end there near stage 3 that wrecked so many trucks. Listen, I was on the I think it was PRN or MRN. I forget who was broadcasting, but whichever entity it is, they always do a great job. Plus, we had a good view of the video screens. I swear to God, we saw that thing 4 or 5 times. I'm still not sure what happened. I think what happened is the front row of Chastain and Ruggiero both spun their tires, I think, and caused the domino effect. And then someone got into someone, and I know Ruggiero eventually got Chastain in the right rear, and that turned him. It was such a mess, and I got to be honest, such a shame because that killed a lot of sheet metal.
I feel like you just read my notes because it literally says whatever the heck 5 to go restart was. What an embarrassing disaster that crap was. That
See,
was my
Chris,
records.
now me and Chad are holding hands under the table with the same notes.
See how that went?
Well, to hand it right back to Chris, my what the heckers was Rajah Caruth, last week's winner, starts the race with a flat tire, has to go to pit road, starts a lap down, stays a lap down for most of the race, finally gets back on the lead lap, and then the spin that Chris just talks about. Rajah Caruth was my what the heckers. What was your what the heckers, Chris?
My what the heckers is the commentating between Jamie Little and Michael Waltrip.
Oh, boy.
So Jamie says, where has Ben Rose come from? And Waltrip responds, Kentucky. What?
And then, I don't know if you heard the response from Jamie, but there's some speculation. There's some speculation on TikTok that, and it's not really clear, but there's some speculation on TikTok that Jamie said, F you, Michael.
That's fantastic.
It's almost like he forgot they was on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's Michael. That
No, that's
100%
Michael with
is,
his humor.
that
Yeah.
that 100% is Michael Waltrip, unfiltered, and
I
that
agree.
100% just pissed off Jamie Little.
Fantastic.
that was pretty good. So that was my what the hecker right there.
I like it. What about you, Rick?
Well, I feel like I'm going to be ostracized from the band of brothers, but my what the heckers is Frankie Muniz. And here's why. Hold on. Let me put some color to the story. Chad's about to reach through the microphone and strangle me. Let me put some color.
All right.
Remember, I'm with 7 of my buddies. We are rooting for Frankie. Okay? Rooting for him. You get all the carnage going on. Do you realize on the restart that he was 5th? You guys know that. You watched the race.
Yep.
5th. That 33 truck, we all pointed out, oh my God, this is great. Oh my God, can he finish 5th? Oh, if he'd get a top 5, whatever. On the restart, go back and watch it. I'm not taking shots at him. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. He flat didn't go. It was like he was dragging an anchor. He went from 5th. They went around him like he was out of fuel. And then to your guys' point, I'm thrilled that he finished 14th, okay? But I would just like to know what the heck happened between 5th and 14th.
Yeah, I
And
think
I'm not doing that to take shots at him. I swear to you that I was rooting for him, as were my buddies.
Maybe he got a little scary when he didn't see that many trucks in front of him. You know, it's not like he's been in that position a lot. You know what I mean?
Chad, do you know? You're the social media hound. Do you know?
No, I'm gonna say he got excited and missed the shift.
I don't want to say that, right? Because I'm not living my dream on a racetrack, and I give him credit for doing it. But please go back and watch it. Check it out.
No.
I don't know what happened to him. I'm telling you, that truck just fell back in the middle of the field.
No, I watched. I saw the same thing. I was just happy he rebounded and got 14th.
All right. Thanks.
That was a good one, Rick. That was a good one.
No worries.
Let's talk Cup. Ricky, give me your checkers for Cup.
Well, this one is easy. This one's a layup. This one goes to Denny Hamlin, and I'm going to tell you why it goes to Denny Hamlin, okay? Not just because he won the race. How did he win the race? He carefully listened to his crew chief. He kept the bridle in his mouth, mellow, managed fuel, and when they turned him loose, I think originally on that final pit stop, because he had a bad pit stop, bad by their measure. I think he was 12th, and we were keeping an eye on him because we had DNF'd out by that point, and we were watching it as race fans. And what struck me was how he overcame the aero blocking of Byron to take the lead. And aero blocking is totally legal. They all do it. These cars are inherently, like putting a barn door up, and almost like you're a reverse bullfighter, right? Oh, I'll get you coming this way. I'll get you coming this way. I'll block you. He put so many different moves and put his nose in so many different places and lines into those corners. How can he not be? That was an amazing, amazing rundown and clean pass of Byron for his 57th win. And oh, by the way, 57 wins all with the same team. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Rick. I mean, he did even on that last restart, a couple of restarts. So I think he was, like you say, he was 12th coming out of there, and they part him like the Red Sea too. They get him loose and almost wreck him.
Damn
right?
straight. Damn
Yep.
straight.
He battles back. He battles back to win it.
Yep.
Well, my checkers is going to stay in the same team, but it's going to go to Denny Hamlin's pit crew, because for the second week in a row, we saw a huge save because his fueler stayed locked in. Denny almost drug him out of the box, and his tire changer grabs the fueler and the can, keeps them in the box, keeps them from getting the penalty, saves the position, saves the penalty, and preserves the win. My checker flag goes to Denny Hamlin's pit crew. Checkers for you, Chris Justice.
My checkers is going to be the pre-race show, the unveiling of the of the Ram truck in front of the crowd.
Whoa.
Right? Burnout on stage, right?
Yeah.
And what you would call, home of cars, right? Like, all your manufacturers born and raised in Michigan, the proper way to unveil the new truck for the next year.
So my brother, Chris Justice, are you saying that it's newsworthy that after months of rumor and conjecture that there's a new manufacturer joining our sport that is finally fact?
It is finally fact. It is out there to the world. YouTube, the burnout to prove it.
That's a good checkers, bro. That's a good one.
Yeah,
and NASCAR saying today that they are extremely close to adding another manufacturer on top of Dodge.
Ooh.
Look at us go.
Breaking news right there for you.
Hey, Chad, can I give you one piece on your Denny Hamlin checker?
Yeah.
Do you know why the fuel guy stayed engaged like that and why that happened?
Yeah, because Denny was supposed to be waiting and he did not wait.
100%. I just want to make sure you threw that in there because Denny did own that.
Yes, he did.
That it was his mistake, 100%. And that's why I caught the fueler by surprise when the car pulled away. That's why he was still engaged.
Right. All right, give me your wreckers there, Chris Justice.
My wreckers. My wreckers is going to be Chase Briscoe. Hear me out, because this also could be a checker, but I'm going to call it a wrecker because he has 3 pole awards in a row, only to lose them very quickly. So I'm on the fence with that one, but showed speed on a single lap. We start the race, and Briscoe doesn't dominate the front for 3 weeks in a row. So that's going to be my call for the week.
How many of those has he ended up in the garage?
No. He's finished. He's
No,
finished.
finished them.
Didn't he end up in the garage this week?
No,
he
absolutely
finished.
not. Absolutely not.
Okay,
And-
He
my bad.
finished.
I thought he got wrecked out.
I want to give Chris some credit because he
Okay.
almost sounds apologetic, making
Okay.
him the wreckers. Dude,
My
that is
my bad.
great wreckers. That's a great wreckers. I would take your wreckers one step further. you're right. 3 pulls in a row. And no, Chad, and none of those did he end up on the hook or in the garage or on DVP. I would take Chris's one step further and be like, dude, what the hell is going on with them mid-race? Unless I'm wrong, didn't he finish like 22nd? Like, so he
I can fact check that.
Yeah, let the super fan fact check me, but he ain't taking a pole award and run an 8th or 9th. Where is that car going, and why is it going that way? And to Chris's point, not once, not twice, 3 straight pole awards, I don't think have generated one top 10. And I need to be fact check on that.
No, so he finished 23rd at Michigan, 17th at Nashville, 4th at Kansas.
Okay.
All right, so 2 out of 3 you fall to the wayside after getting your pole award.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yep. All right. Did you give me your records, Rick?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to talk out of turn. I was trying to be polite. Wait.
Okay, give me your records, Rick.
Oh, thank you, Chad. Benevolent host. I have 2. I'm going to go quick. I'm split because one's a little bit of a homer, and I want to get your guys' feedback. So I think this is important. It's good, for it builds the camaraderie amongst the 3 of us. Yeah. And the other one, the other one was my record. So my first record is our car getting a DNF, Cole Custer, after what appeared to me that Cindric got into our left rear, wiggled us a little bit as he tried to catch it. He got into Bowman, and apologies to Bowman, who took a wicked head-on hit. He emerged from the care center maybe 5 minutes after Cole did, so it was great to see that. Your guys' thoughts on if my record is accurate. Did we come down on him, or did the 2 get in our left rear?
The two got into you. You wiggled out of it, and ultimately the 48 caught the worst part of it.
All right, that's how I saw it. Chad, any different?
No, I agree.
Okay. And then I didn't want to be a homer there. That was more of a fact check records, but thank you.
No, and I think you would have been okay too if you hadn't have caught the 19 as you were spinning. You might have been able to continue, but I think you catching the 19 is what ruined your day.
And I think that's what made me think the 19 got wrecked. Sorry, that's okay.
Yeah, that's probably And we broke our radiator. Whether or not they showed that or not, we were pissing water in the pit box, and that's what sent us packing and sent Cole to infield care. My record, though, the easier one for me is William Byron. And I got to tell you, William Byron, he runs second in stage 1, wins stage 2, leads the most laps. And I know he's got a win in the bank, but that win came a long time ago. Running out of fuel there like that. And again, it was a great, great battle with Hamlin. I already covered that in my checker, but I got to give a record there to Byron. I guess I just feel bad for him. That's tough.
Hey, that's 2 times he's run out of fuel.
Yeah.
All right, my records is left side rear tires and the amount of tire pressure they're choosing to put in these. I mean, I know they're trying to squeak out speed, but man, and really, with Hocevar, when he was up there leading, you knew he was going to be short on fuel, but it was going to be a cool strategy thing there, like what was going to happen when he was out there leading. And then the left side tire goes down, and you saw that, with several other guys. So, I don't know. I know these guys are, again, you're trying to squeak out some speed, especially in that 3rd stage, but that's my records.
I just want to be clear, Chad, for all of our massive podcast audience, you're waving that record at whom?
I think I'm waving it at the teams who are choosing to ignore Goodyear's suggestions about how much air you need to put in that tire.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear you say.
Yeah.
I feel the same way as you. I'm 100% in your camp on this one. I just want to make sure that was not being laid at the feet of Goodyear.
No, I mean, I want to see tires fail, if I'm being honest. Like, and honestly, I want to see teams push that boundary.
They do.
It also sucks at the same time. So like I would have loved to seen how that deal played out with Hosafar. He was so fast.
Agreed.
And then the strategy
Yeah.
was so good. Like I would have loved to seen what happened. But that threw another curve in there, and it's racing.
I back you up on that. I want to make sure that it's their actions detrimental to their own results. And apologies to Denny Hamlin there if that's bad.
Yes.
But remember a few years ago we was all complaining that we had more tire than fuel, and the tire never fell off, and right. So I'm glad they made the adjustments. Right.
Yes,
so they made the
100%.
adjustments to make it an issue, if you will, on the long run, and having tire fall off, and which I think added that good drama that we needed, right? So having the tire situation, the fuel situation made for one heck of an ending in that race, win, lose, or draw. Like there was some good racing, some good passing, some good scenarios. Like you was watching tires, you was watching fuel, you was watching side drafting.
Agreed.
It was a good race for it not to be a super speedway packed up side by side racing.
Absolutely. All right, my what the hecker for Michigan is the luck of Ryan Blaney. Just when you think things are turning around for this 12 team, he gets a win at Nashville. It's like that was the one blip. He gets his win and everything is right back like it was. He wrecks out again. And I don't know what's going on. What the heck? Ryan Blaney.
That was in his control though, dude.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but it's just that's been the season for Ryan this year. He's been collected, he's wrecked, he's made decisions that not typical Ryan Blaney. It's been a weird year for the 12.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But I would just say that the new Gen 7 car has proven that four-wheel independent suspension is a wonderful thing and brings the car into the modern era until it hits a wall.
Yeah, it's definitely not made to bounce off of walls.
Yes.
Definitely not.
What's your what the hecker, Ricky?
Oh, me before Chris?
Yeah, he's going to wrap us up.
Watch me hit this one out of the park.
All right, let's go. What you got?
You ready?
I'm ready.
My what the hecker is a repeat of my checker. And my what the hecker is Denny Hamlin. Wins the race, proclaims again, I beat your favorite driver. He said he wasn't going to use that again. He did it again. And for the piece de resistance. And yeah, I'm going Homer here.
Oh my God.
Boy. Is ready? I hope everybody hears this clearly and I have no echo. O-H! I-O! Michigan. God love you, Denny. God love you. You are welcome on our Buckeyes bandwagon any goddamn time. That's my what the hecker.
I knew that was coming.
I had to go to this one.
Get you some.
I knew it.
All right. Please tell me that you have something good, something valuable.
That's terrible.
Listen, my what the hecker is the 45 pitting long and blocking himself in behind the 6 car. I think he came in third and he left like 23rd because he pinned himself behind the 6 car and could not get out after his stop.
And how about Billy Smalley's response to him? Did you hear it?
Billy Scott.
Billy Scott. Sorry.
What did he say?
Tyler's like, sorry, man, I didn't know I was going to slide that far. He said, yeah, you've done the same thing all day.
That's
Ooh.
Billy Scott. Billy Scott.
Really?
Billy Scott is a no nonsense kind of guy. I respect him for that.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Right
know
on.
that, Chris. That's
Yeah,
why
he
I
blocked
love
himself in. He blocked himself right in.
That's when I love that we do this, because I know he fell back, but I honestly I did not know why I missed that.
Yep.
Yep. That was a good one. I like it. All right. So we're break out your sombreros and your street tacos, headed to Mexico City for a road race.
Mexico City. Here I go. 'Cause Rick's
Hey!
not going.
Rick, you're watching it from North Carolina.
Yeah, and I promise I'll get like a margarita or something and some tacos and burritos. I mean, I'll pretend like I'm there, but no, I'm not going.
Well, I'm gonna be at the house, so I'm probably gonna put something on a smoker. Come to the house. We'll watch it at the house.
Okay, there we have
We'll
it.
see if we can get Mike Davis down there. Maybe we can watch it from his boat.
Chris, you're going?
Yeah, I'll be down there.
All right, so Chad,
Yeah.
on behalf of you and I, let's say to Chris, we love you, brother.
Don't drink the
safe.
water.
Be safe, brother. Don't drink the water, brother. And come back to us safe.
And
Got it.
you and
Yeah.
Kyle Busch don't carry any firearms. Leave
I'm
them at
Yeah,
home.
don't
definitely
be-
not carrying
don't
my
be-
firearm.
Don't
He
be packing your
definitely has a little
heater.
more street credit than I do to get out of that. So I'm gonna leave the firearms at home.
Yes, do
Yes.
that. All right. Well, we will be back next week to talk all things Mexico City. Until then, adios.
Adios. Good to see everybody. Hit that like button.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
Later.
I went wide open, hoping for a little taste. Okay.